So this is my Hytale base. It's alright, it has some buildings, some farms, but it's really nothing special. It looks just like every other Hytale base I've seen, and I think it's time to change that. So let's go and build something completely different. So what I'll be building, I have in mind a sort of modern dystopia filled with neon lights. The reason is, I want to make the most of the coloured lighting that Hytale offers, making use of these crystal blocks. And to cement this theme, I'm going to be building in Zone 4. The red sky will really sell the vibe of an urban dystopia. But enough talk, let's go and make a start. The first thing I'll do is mark out a shape I want with cloth blocks for the first buildings. So I've plonked down 2 outlines, this square one that will be taller and a longer rectangular one that'll be only maybe a couple floors tall. I'll start with the rectangular one first. I'm thinking block palette wise that I would like the red sandstone vibe. So a quick trip to Windrider Valley for red sandstone and I've got a few stacks. Should be more than enough for now. I know I could have gone to the desert, but this method is renewable, so I won't be destroying the natural landscape. So first then, building up some walls, keeping with the terrain that slowly drops away. This of course looks absolutely atrocious right now, but hopefully with some details it won't look so bad. Now as I'm going for a sort of modern theme, we absolutely must use these sandstone doors that slide to the side. Putting a set of double doors on each wall section should look pretty cool. And also a little window using stairs and vertical slabs. Okay, yeah, that helps, but it's still not brilliant. Let's add some sandstone windows up along the top and use the hammer to put in some different textures. It definitely still needs some details, adding depth to the walls, plus I think that it just needs to be a little bit taller. So let's add another floor using basalt this time. Okay, yeah, probably don't need to go higher than that, so now let's detail it. To start with then, adding some depth to the walls. Putting some vertical slabs above and below the windows. And joining them with some horizontal volcanic beams. And then vertical beams between the horizontal ones. I'm not sure what this is meant to be, but it looks kind of cyberpunkish and adds some depth to the wall, so I'm happy with that. Then adding one long window in the basalt section using slabs and stairs. I'll need to put something behind them to really make the windows stand out. So let's try some lanterns behind. Yo, that looks really cool, especially from here. Just the roof left now. So I'm thinking one layer of the red sandstone again. Then we will come out with a slab to add some depth. Looks good, perhaps a beam just below maybe? Let's try golden wood. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Quickly putting on a roof using stone, but now it's for the final details that really get this looking awesome. So to start with then, the first use of crystal blocks on this build. Let's put a vertical neon sign up out the front with blue crystals. And then a horizontal green one just to the right. Okay, this is looking good. I think some pots and other decorations out the front would really help too. Quickly putting in a cobblestone pavement. Now some potted plants using planters and leaves from different trees. I grew a whole bunch of different trees on my tree farm here and shared a whole bunch of them to get all the different leaf types. And now I'm going to make some boxes using some deadwood and blackwood planks. This is looking cool and so much more cyberpunk with all the neon. So let's go all in and put a giant neon advert on the top. So using some more of the green and blue as well as some white cloth. So yeah, it doesn't actually say anything, but it's some cool shapes. It could be a logo or something. But it's definitely cool, especially at night. Look at this. So awesome. For a few final roof details, I'm using some calcite blocks as aircon units. And then doing some ducting with quartzite pillars, which are just a tad smaller than a full block and can be placed sideways. I'm now also putting in some textures using some different block variants to add some interest. And with that, this is one building down. Yeah, I know it's missing a back and sides, but there'll eventually be more builds here. For my frequent viewers, I know this is different to my usual technical content. And to any new viewers, hello, yeah, I don't normally do building videos. And you should definitely go and have a look at my technical content after this and give those videos a watch, as you'll definitely learn something that will help you in your Hytale worlds. However, I just had an itch to build a base in a modern aesthetic, so I may as well make a video from it. Don't worry, I will still be mainly doing technical videos, but if this video does well, then maybe I'll do some more videos on this project. So if you do want to see more like this, then let me know by liking the video and maybe leaving a comment. And if you're a frequent viewer to the channel and haven't subscribed already, then what are you waiting for? It's just one click of a button. It'll really help the channel grow and reach more people. It really is the best way to support me right now. Anyway, on to the next outline, and this one is going to be taller. Firstly, I'll fill in the pavement around the edges. Then I can build the ground floor, which I'll do out of marble with highlights of salt block. Right now I'll leave it as a white wall and figure out the rest of the build. I'm thinking that the rest of the build would look quite good using some quartzite. I don't really know where to get large amounts of this other than in Dragonspire Weald, so off I go there. And 1 7-minute session later, I've got all of this, and this should be more than enough for a while. This build will be sort of dystopian apartments, so I'll start with the first floor, which I'll offset backwards by 1 block. I can then add some doors, again using the awesome slidey ones, and then add some sandstone windows above the door, and a row of decorative sandstone above the quartzite, and then add some long windows on the other side using slabs and stairs like on the previous build. This still looks a little bit silly, so I'll add a barrier out the front of the doors using some stone slabs. Oh yeah, much better. So I want to repeat this to another floor, so let's put a run of stair blocks above the sandstone that will be the walkway for the next floor up. So now I have this template floor, and I can repeat this a few more times, and it will be the exact same, and it will get a nice cool tower. A short while later, and by a short while, hour or so, we are here, and it's not perfect, but it is certainly a good start. The first problem is this open side, so let me put in a wall here, continuing the marble and salt from the ground floor. I got more marble by digging out the foundations of Forgotten Temple ruins, and the salt from my unnecessarily large, fully automatic fish trap farm. Watch my video on that if you also want extreme amounts of salt. With these last blocks in, the wall is done. It looks very dull, but that's okay, I'll put some details on that later. The rest of the build also needs some work, so let's go. So I'll start with a vertical sign using some pink crystals. These are the easiest to get a lot of as they can be harvested from the crystal trees, but also you can farm them renewably from the wild wisteria trees using a setup a little bit like this. Then I'm going to go a little bit wacky on the next sign and make a sign in the shape of some sort of chili peppers using red crystal blocks and a red crystal at the bottom, and an emerald on the top. So yeah, I think this looks like 2 chilies to me, and I guess it will be some sort of advert for some street food sold underneath, so I guess I need to make a street food place underneath. But now onto the roof, we'll come back to the bottom later. I'm not quite sure what I'll do, but I like the lanterns behind the slabs like in this first build. So I'll probably try and use this technique again. Let's use some more stone and stone bricks. Again, using some slabs. This of course went completely smoothly and I took no damage at all. Yo, what is this glitch? My salad, it's floating away, come back! Then, adding in the lanterns. And that's the top done. I think it looks pretty good. It mirrors the white from the bottom up at the top, which is a nice balance there. Now let's quickly put a roof on, using smooth stone again. And then a pylon on the top using alternating red and white beams. All that's left now are the details, particularly on this big blank wall. So on this right hand side I'll use some calcite as more aircon units and then join them up with some beams as ducting. Perhaps a little bit of greenery might help as well. So these bluish camphor leaves should look really cool. I'm now adding these sandstone beams off to the side. And these green torches should add a different pop of colour. Again, I'm not fully sure what these are meant to be, probably some sort of electrical equipment as it does kind of look like sparks coming off from the torches. And now we just need to deal with this base section. So we will start with the food sign. Let's start with some alternating cloth roofs. Then build some beams down and build a counter. Next, let's dig away the wall and create a little kitchen area. putting in some worktops, a cooker with extractor fans using these pillar bases, and then the chef's stove workstation. Then we can put a little counter here too, then decorate them with different pies and some chilies so it matches the sign we made. Lighting up the inside with 2 small green crystals and a red crystal block out the front. In this gap here I'll just make another small window using stairs and slabs. Onto the other side now. We definitely need an entrance to the building, so a simple double sandstone door will suffice. Then, to the right, I'll build another canopy and mine away the wall. I've put in walls, a ceiling and a floor. This time it'll be a storeroom, so I'll fill it with dead wood planks and some other blocks that look like crates, and put some shelves up on the walls. Finishing it off with some iron bars out the front, and adding some light to the room using some pink crystals in the ceiling. Finally, putting more potted plants and crates around the outside area just for some final details. And with that, the buildings are done. Let's quickly finish up the whole area with a road and street lights. So, for the road texture, I like this ashen soil. Looks just like tarmac. And it's everywhere in Zone 4, so let's collect a bunch. With all this gathered, let's dig up the ground where we will put the road. Now it's time to fill in with ashen soil. Okay, this looks pretty good, but a little bit uniform, so let's craft some cold soil and add some texture with that. So much better now. Finally, we will finish with some streetlights. I think quartzite will be a nice material for this as it kind of looks dirty. So let's start with a quartzite block, then a pillar, and then onto some beams, and finishing with some slabs with a lantern below. I then built a few more streetlights. We do now need to light up this build a little bit as at night time it's just completely in shadow. So placing down some lanterns on the balconies, and that does it. We can now see the build at night. Now I definitely think that does it for this video. We've made such a good start on my new base, but as I said earlier in the video, I will continue to do my usual technical Hytale videos. But if this video does well, then I will continue this base on camera and make videos on it. So if that's what you want to see, then leave a little like and subscribe, which will tell me that you want to see more videos like this. And if you'd be more interested in just seeing the technical videos, then feel free to comment down below. Anyways, thanks for sticking with me while I did something a little bit different. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Goodbye for now.